Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your boy James, and you're watching my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews, where I'm here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. We'll see if it happens, because I don't know if I will do it or not. We'll see. But as you guys can see, I'm rolling solo for just a little bit. I think Mrs. Best may join us. She may not. She is on vacation right now. I don't require her to come up here on vacation. I understand that it's her time away from reality. But if she joins us, I'll pop her in so at least she could say hello. But I'm going to go ahead and get the show started without her. And I want to thank you, Jim Bunny, for being here early. She said Lisa looked like Kiki Palmer in the thumbnail. She kind of do a little bit. It's kind of funny. But y'all, this is Real Housewives of Dubai, season 2, episode 6 review and recap. Y'all, this episode was a lot. There was a lot to take in. A lot. Everybody was doing way too much. And when I mean everybody, I mean everybody was doing way too much. So the episode actually opens up with Talene and Brooks. They are still at each other's throats when it comes to this whole who said what, why did Talene take Caroline away from the table, and all of this. And Brooks is standing on, you asked me to tell you when somebody was talking about you, and that's what I did. And I said, Brooks, that is a very manipulative tactic because that's not what she meant, but you still are stirring the pot regardless. And oh yeah, we're gonna get to it, Jim Bunny. Trust me, we getting there. Cause that family was, yeah, that was a lot too. Talene was like, yeah, that's stirring the pot, Brooks. Like, I don't know why you don't understand that. Like, she didn't mean it in that way. And Caroline Stansbury said, I didn't mean that by that way at all. So in the midst of that, Sarah interjected and was like, tell her what you mean, Brooks. Like, that's not what you mean. Well, just tell her what you mean. Now, at first, when I watched it the first time, it just felt like Sarah was telling Brooks, look, just tell her what you said because it's coming across like you are. I don't want to say it's coming across like nonchalant, like you don't care about the feelings, but if I'm being honest, when I watched it the second time, it is what that means. It's because she's not falling in line with what Brooks wants. Brooks wants her to just blindly just kiss her ass, and she's not doing it. And I big up Talene. I still am iffy about her right now, y'all. I don't know if I like Talene or not. I'm still iffy, but I didn't blame her in that moment. So with Sarah chiming in and doing all of her clapping, talking about Brooks, you don't mean this. Brooks, you don't mean that. Caroline Stansbury looking at her like, Sarah, what the hell are you doing? That's what she wanted to say. She didn't say it like that. She goes, let them talk. Like, just stay out of it. And she goes, I'm not in it. Like, I don't understand. I'm just helping them. She goes, no, you're controlling. You're playing the puppet master, which Sarah does, but she does it in a way where we're not noticing. I'm starting to notice it now. It took me a minute to notice it, but I was all like, nah, that can't be what she's doing. But no, Sarah is definitely playing the puppet master. I can kind of see it. So they go back and forth. Stansbury's like, Sarah, just shut up. Just shut up. And Sarah's like, you shut up. And I am just like, what the hell is going on here? I was like, Talene, like, are we playing this episode of Squid Games? What are we doing here? So Sarah gets up from the table. Brooke says she's gonna come with her, and she said, Lisa, we need to talk to you. So they pull so Sarah, Lisa, and Brooks go off to the side. Brooks was like, look, I have something to tell you because Sarah, when we were at the dinner, you mentioned, is everything okay in Lisa's home? And basically what happened was Lisa told Brooks a halfway story of what Chanel Ayan told Lisa about Sarah mentioning, is everything okay at home? And Sarah immediately denied that and was all like, no, it was coming from a place of concern. And I said, Sarah, nice try. That was not a place of concern, because if it was a place of concern, you would have called Lisa after that event and asked her, hey, is everything okay? Because I felt like you jumped down Talene's neck and I felt you were wrong. I just want to know, are you okay? Do you need support? But the fact that you brought it up to not only Brooks, but your friend Saba, who else was at that dinner? Chanel Ayan. There's somebody else that I'm missing that was at that dinner. Was it Talene? No, I don't feel like Talene was there. Somebody else was there. And she just said that I don't, she and Sarah doubled down. She goes, I did not mean that. as a sense of like it's their trouble at home. So they go back to the table and they bring it amongst the group. And because pretty much Lisa's not getting a straight answer, which once again, Sarah didn't mean it in that way. But they bring it up at the table. And Shania Young's like, look, Lisa is my best friend. And when you said that, that did bother me. And when they tell the rest of the ladies what was said, even Talene was like, that sounds marital. Like you're asking if there are marital issues. Sarah's still not getting it. And here comes Saba over there co-signing, like, no, she really meant it as a point of concern. She was being genuine. And I said, Saba, shut the hell up. Because you're her friend. Of course, you're going to stick up for your friend. But that is not what Sarah meant. And see, if it were me, this is how I would, if I was in Saba's shoes, this is how I would do it. It was like, well, look, maybe she should have called you and said, hey, everything good? You gravy? I didn't, you surprised me at that night. And could have left it at that. And maybe held her to some extent accountable, but then still having her back. That's all I'm saying. As I said, I don't like Saba. I'm not seeing it for her right now. So hopefully she turns me around. But as of now, I'm not seeing it for Saba, y'all. Sorry. For those people who actually like her, think she's bubbly, cute, and all that, I'm not with it because I see right through it. Sorry, just not doing it. So we then move on. We have a little bit of scenes with the ladies with their children, and Caroline Brooks' son is just really too. I couldn't act like that in front of my mama. I'm just gonna put that out there now. He was doing way too much. Um, then we had Sarah in her new house, which is beautiful. One thing about Sarah, Sarah got money, money. And grown, that's the word, Jim Bunny. Absolutely. He had too grown for me. But when Sarah's son was at that pool and started twerking in front of that man, I was like, wait, what? What is you doing? Little boy, why is you doing this? Why is this okay? And Sarah's like, oh, don't do that. I am so embarrassed. And I'm just like, oh, that's not good, y'all. That is not good. That is not good, y'all. That little boy was twerking in front of that man. And then when the man took his shirt off, that little boy started clapping. And I was like, okay, Sarah, you doing too much. You doing too much. You doing way too much. I don't understand. See, this is where and y'all, and I'm so glad nobody jumped on me when I said that she's training this boy to be attracted to men. This is what I'm talking about. This boy, we'll get to it in the middle. I'm not gonna say it this part. We'll get to it when we get to the middle. But this boy's eyes for this man is kind of crazy, y'all. The fact that he is twerking in front of this man, even though he's a kid, he's 7. Kids are going to do what kids do, but it's his gesturing and his verbiage, and she's not correcting it. She's not letting him know, hey, that's inappropriate. We have company. You be on your best behavior. She's not doing none of that. All she's saying is, oh my God, I am so embarrassed. And I'm like, Mom, hello, what is going on here? What is going on? But anyways, y'all, we move on to a scene with Chanel Ayan and Lisa. They meet up at a coffee shop and they begin talking, and they bring up the situation with Sarah putting it out there as their trouble at home. Now, Lisa said that did trigger her because lately she has felt that she doesn't have enough time to do anything. And you know what's funny? I didn't want to say that, Jim Bunny, but that's what it's given. That's what it's given. I didn't want to say that at first, but yeah, it's definitely given that. But we go into the scene with Lisa saying that she feels that way actually. So Sarah bringing it up brought a whole nother awareness to her that that's something that she's been dealing with. Her husband has been wanting sex and she's been too exhausted to do so. And Shania Yam was like, you need to take a break. Like, you need to make yourself available and be there for you, which is actually great advice. That's something I would tell anybody who is in Lisa's shoes, like to take a break and to realistically find you in all of this equation because you're not nurturing yourself and you're going to become so mentally exhausted that you could lose everything out of the, out of the strength of your own inability. So take care of yourself first, Lisa. That's what I would do. I did like that conversation. That's why it's going to irk me when these two fall out. It's going to irk me more than anything because we know it's coming and it's really going to get on my nerves. So y'all, Stansberry. So Stansberry's at her home, and as she's at her home, Sergio's parents are in town, and she has ordered dinner, and they're sitting at a table. And Stansberry's like, "Look, I'm not hanging out with y'all because that's yes, yes, this right here, absolutely. If she's that overwhelmed, then they need help. She needs to get a nanny. She needs to get somebody." But Caroline Stansberry sitting at the table with his family and was all like, "Look, I'm sorry, but I need my time. He needs to make some friends. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to have him up in my face 24/7." And Pete the mom was clocking this like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because you know what? This is two things, flip of the coin is happening. And absolutely, yes. You said it, Jim Bunny. You was on it today, yes. Um, Two things that happen. That mama's clocking like, see why my son to marry this old ass lady, and now she don't even want to be around him. He's not no accessory. But and the other flip side, she's like, look, don't mess up this money, Sergio. You're doing too much. Don't mess up this money, Sergio. Don't mess it up. She got the money. Don't mess up this money. That's what I was getting from. That was the vibe the mom was giving me the entire time she was sitting there. But Caroline Sansbury was like, look, I have to go. I'm not going to go see the movie with y'all and everything. And so she excuses herself from the table. And he's pretty much complaining about how she doesn't have time for him. And the mom was like, "You need to chill. Like, you really need to chill. Like, it is not that serious." And he goes, "Yeah, but I want a family. I want a baby." And it's like, Sergio, your wife is 150 years old. That lady ain't having no damn baby. What part of that don't you get? It's not like you married some 21-year-old. You married a lady that's probably the same age as your mama that's sitting across from her. That's why her mama was nodding her head, listening to Caroline, taking all that in, because she know the struggle. She know, look, this woman, shoot, maybe going through menopause soon. You ain't look there, and then when that happens, you out of luck. You out of luck, brother. You out of luck. And I'm just saying that's what was going on. That mama was like, damn, I gotta talk some sense into my son because he is crazy. She is. I mean, she's not. That's what I want. I'm not trying to be mean, y'all. I'm just saying the obvious. This man's 27 and he's talking about wanting a big ass family as if this lady is his age and she's not. This lady did already lived a life that he is living currently. She's been married 20 years. She has 3 kids that are almost grown. Why would she want to start over? Now, on the flip side, y'all, I do know women who have done this. I do. I actually, I'm a good friend of mine. Her mother actually did this, where her mom actually had 2 kids. They turned 18. And then once they got 18, then she went and had 3 more by the second husband that she has currently today. Crazy as hell. There's no way I would raise kids up until they are 18, get married at 41, and then proceed to have 3 kids. There's no way possible. So it does happen and it can happen. I'm just saying for Sergio's case, and to see him complain, cry, and do all of that, it was like, do you really know who you married? Have you looked at her in the mirror? I know she is stunning. I know she is funny. I know she is everything. But at the same time, this ain't no young lady. I just want you to get that. Yeah, Jim Bunny, I'm serious. I'm serious. She raised her first 2 kids with her first husband. They got 18. She met another man, got married, and at 41, proceeded to have 3 more kids. So, like her, she has a grandchild and a daughter that are going to be in high school together. That's how I'm gonna put that. Yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But it happened. But like I said, Phoenix has a lot of different people. I never thought I would see a situation like that, but yeah, it does happen. Once you can raise your kids, you grown, and you think you're gonna get your skinny girl. Here come a young man ready to put some more in you. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't. I'm glad that mama was like, look, you need to figure out your life here, which is what he needs to do. Because anytime Caroline Stansberry can pull this plug and then be done with him, and then he down and out. So it's crazy. It was just absolutely crazy to watch that to watch this. And I was trying to root. I really was trying to root for him. I really was, but at the same time, it is so redundant. It just really is. So, y'all, the next thing we see, Caroline Brooks's mother is in town, Miss Maria, and we learned that Caroline Brooks is actually one of 7 children. I said, God damn. I said, lady, oof, that's a lot of children. But her mom is very sweet. They're planning her son's birthday party, and you know, Sergio, I want to know what his child. I do too. I said that in a couple of other recaps because me and Mrs. Best were talking about it, and I was like, I wonder what happened. There's a disconnect between him and his mother. The fact that he married someone so much older and then has all these expectations of family and wanted her to be barefoot and pregnant, where she only got one embryo and one egg. I don't know how you're supposed to get a whole bunch of kids out of all of that, but stranger things have happened. So, um, but moving on from there, Brooks pretty much was talking to her son, and you know, he mentions that he talks to his dad a lot about everything, and you know, about wanting more siblings because he's an only child, and she kind of takes a step back because she goes, "You don't talk to me about that," and he goes, "Well, you don't get home till 10:30 at night." And it was a dagger to her because she goes, "I work hard so you can have the life that you have." So the more Caroline Brooks is putting it out there, she don't have help from that ex-husband. She has to raise him and do everything else with her son. So I'm just like, ugh, I feel for her, but at the same time, that's what y'all get. That's what y'all get. I'm like, me and Mrs. Best have this clear conversation. Look, when you marry into this lifestyle, you better put you some shit away. You better have some change. When you go to the grocery store, you better put away the change. Ask for cash all the time so that way you don't leave a paper trail. Prepare yourself for the foolishness. I feel like Brooks should had enough street smarts to tuck some away, but she didn't tuck enough away from me. Not if you have to work this hard and stress yourself out this much and all this. It ain't to me. I guess it's worth it, but I don't know, y'all. I don't see it being that worth it to me. Um, the next thing we talk about, Chanel Young calls her sister. Her sister is coming up, and she was telling her sister that the makeup line is doing well. And then we kind of had a flashback moment of her talking about her laying in the bed and then her being circumcised. And I was just, and that conversation is so triggering because you could tell that it still pains her. The more she talks about how her sister was the comfort when she was going through that, I was like, oh my God, y'all, that could y'all imagine? Like, there's no way, like, the country is just brutal to those women. Oh my God, I wanted to cry for her because you could tell that still hurts her. But I'm glad that her sister and her siblings still have that realm of support. I really did enjoy watching that scene. I did. It made me happy for her in the moment. Um, After we get through with there, we have a scene with. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to talk about this little boy. I don't. I really don't want to talk about this little boy. But Sarah, we have Sarah's brand new house. Akeem is coming over, and she tells Matu or whatever the little boy's name is that Akeem is coming over, and he is just so excited. And like I said, even if she's not training her son to, be attracted to men and do all this with her, she is putting false hope into this little boy's head. And to me, if y'all have never seen the movie Eve's Bayou, it's a movie I want you guys to watch and pay attention to the oldest child because she began to emulate her mother and try to do the things that her mother was not doing to make sure the father would never leave the home. In my honest opinion, and I'm saying allegedly because I am talking about a little kid at the end of the day, I feel like Sarah is unintentionally training her son to do the same thing. And the reason why I say unintentionally is because she's not knowing that the things that he is doing is to get this man's attention enough for him not to leave because the other men have left. And she's already putting this stigma by keeping him in conversations with her about who she's dating, about who she's with, and everything into that, and bringing him the men around this little boy, giving him that hope. So, what that's training him to do is, I'm going to give the men all the attention that you're probably not giving him. So that way they won't leave me the same way they leave you. That's what that little boy is doing, y'all. I can see it clearly. And I want her to stop doing this. And she has to be aware of this. Like she is the, one who's in all this spiritual healing and this counseling. She has to know that's what she's doing. And as I said, it's unintentionally. because at the end of the day, kids will be kids. But when that little boy opened that door and started twerking at the door in front of this man, it was like, Sarah, you need to get a grasp on that. You need to tell him that that is not okay to do. And we're not talking about it being a why can't the little boy twerk? He's a kid. Kids do things. It's sending the wrong message. He is on TV. That is what we're concerned about. He is on TV. We see her talking to him as if he's grown. We're seeing him, you know, impose certain boundaries they should. But there's no way this boy on a date with you and this man should ask him when you gonna be my daddy or my stepdad or something. There's no way he should be asking these questions. You need to create clear boundaries. He is still a child. He should be in a child's place. He should not be opening the door, twerking in front of a grown ass man because you don't know that man at the end of the day. You don't know him at all. That man could be predatory. I'm not trying to put that on him, but I'm going to say allegedly, and I'm going to, but you really have to be careful when it comes to kids. And that just bothered me, y'all. When I tell y'all, it bothered me more than anything because I feel like she's not paying close enough attention to it, and she needs to. Um, he really shouldn't be around that man, period. They're not official. And that's another thing, because that's what we're gonna talk about. But thank you, Jim Bunny. That's another thing. They were having Sarah and the King were having the conversation. And she wants to make sure that she understands where do they stand. And he goes, well, look, I don't want you dating nobody else. And see, and that's the thing. This is the thing that kills me. Because when men do shit like this, instead of it being a yes or no situation, you're trying to put it off on her because I think secretly you really don't want to be with this woman. It's giving you don't want to be with this woman, but you ain't finna say no to the television. That's what it's given to me because any man be like, yeah, let's give it a shot. I'm ready for this. He either is not ready for a serious relationship or he doing too much or he's being a player. And you ain't the only one, Sarah. Because he could have given you an answer. He'd have been around your child. Like, why would you bring your child around him? Why would y'all spend weeks on dates and going to the movies alone, smuggling in food and stuff? Why are y'all doing all of that? And y'all are not official. So yeah, Sarah's a piece of work. She is. Sarah is a piece of work. Like, I'm sorry. I want to like Sarah. I do because Sarah is living exactly how I want to live. But what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna point out the obvious here. And that's what it bothered me. So they leave. So Keen and Sarah leave it as they are officially unofficial. So they don't know. They're just in the waiting room. And I'm just like, Sarah, do better. Just do better. And thank you, Jim Bunny. Yes, because it's given that. It really is. So, y'all, the next scene we have is Stansberry takes her daughter out. And her daughter, just got back from her college trip with her father. Stansberry was not able to go because she was too busy with this house. Remember, everything is in her name. The mortgage, the utilities, the deed, the insurance, everything is in her name because Sergio has not been a he hasn't been a citizen that long. I think you have to be there for like 3 years before you can obtain lending and everything like that. So everything is on her. So she couldn't go with her daughter and her ex-husband to, she said she went to Miami and y'all used to live in Miami. So I know you gonna have a whole bunch of fun out there. But she's also said she likes LA as well, which is another place I have lived. So yeah, the daughter, she coming to the States and she finna turn all the way up. But then they have the conversation where, Caroline does not know exactly how to fit Sergio in her life. So she has not created clear boundaries. So Yasmin, her daughter, was like, look, when it comes to him, he puts himself in conversations he should have no part of. And Caroline doesn't show affection, but that's how she grew up. Yes, that's how she grew up, but also she grew up with a lot of money and a lot of access. So when you have a lot of money and a lot of access, the things that are taught to you about being a nurturer are very skewed because at the end of the day, there's no one really to teach you that. So if you haven't been taught it, then you can't necessarily give it in that same satisfaction. And I think that's what her daughter is wanting. So pretty much what we understand in this conversation with Caroline Stansberry and Yasmin is that Caroline Stansberry instantly went into this marriage with Sergio after being divorced from her first husband. So she goes, "You really just moved on with Sergio and really did give us a chance to process it." And as I told y'all, this is my opinion about this, and I'm just gonna say it like this. I feel like that husband moved on as well and got him somebody who was really young and vibrant. And Stansberry gives me the type of person she doesn't like to be outdone. So she gonna meet her somebody young and and run up him. That's what she's going to do. But on the flip side, what you did is you completely disregarded how your children will feel and then not create a space for them to embrace the new person in your life just by rushing them into it. And you could tell the hurt on that little girl's face when she goes, I just wanted you and wanting to get a chance to bond with you before you went into this marriage, and now I don't have hardly any of you. Yeah, this whole episode, it was. That's so crazy. Yes, because it was. It was totally like we're seeing the wrong elements of parents and children dynamics, what to do, what not to do, how to raise your children, how to give your children boundaries because they need it. It's like all of these women are missing this, with probably the exception of no, Brooks' son needed to. Probably Lisa Milan and Chanel Ayan. These two seem to have their children intact. Them other ones, their children are all over the place. You had Talene's daughter didn't want to go to school. Then you had Brooks' son. He is out of control and think he grown, being very mannish, and I do not like it. You have Stansberry, who is not really involved in the way that's motherly. She knows that they're her children and she is the mother, but as far as motherly nurturing, she is missing that. And who else do we have on it? And I already read Sarah down for her son. So we already got all that. So, but they, Stansberry agreed to, you know, doing more activities for her daughter because her daughter is about to go off to college. So she says that she's going to spend more time with her daughter and making sure that her daughter gets everything she needs. I don't believe Stansberry. I don't. I believe that ban is going to get in the way and it's going to completely diminish this relationship. Absolutely. Talene told her daughter, "Well, don't go to school." I know. I was like, well, since when do children have a choice not to go to school? My mom didn't care how much I cried. Get my ass in that classroom. Yes. So we then move on to another scene with Talene, and she had this dog that has been in her family before she even got to Dubai that has recently passed away, and they're having sort of like a bagel and prosecco little wake at their house, and she then brings up a conversation that she had text Brooks happy birthday to her son Matt. Is that her son's name? No, Max is Lisa's son. What is this boy's name? I done forgot already. Adam. Adam is his name. Um, Brooks' son, his name is Adam. And so she and Brooks didn't even text her back. And Brooks is actually having a birthday party that same day. So we see Brooks and her mom. That she has the whole beach set up where he's going to have all kind of activities. Very nice put together party. So we go to Brooks. We see them sitting down. Then her ex husband shows up, and she is not happy at all. She is like, "Oh my God, why is he here?" And I'm like, "Well, it's his son's birthday. You can't grit your teeth and bear it just for a moment." So production was being messy and asking her, did he foot the bill on the birthday party? She goes, "What bill? He's not footing any bill except for the vodka tonics he's drinking." And I was like, damn. Talk about adding insult to injury. You mean to tell me he didn't pay for his son's birthday party? Ah. The more I think I belong in this country, the more I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. Because there's no way I'm paying for all that shit. And they had so much going on. They had boats, they had balloon fights, water gun fights. Like they had a curator. I know she costs money. Oh no. And no, oh, I didn't even think about that, Jim Bunny. And no present. Couldn't be me. I'm sorry, but I tell you, he would have got an invoice. He would have got an invoice. There's no way, absolutely no way. And I get that country does favor men, but oh well, he gonna get a invoice today. You're not gonna play with me. So we then move on to back to Celine's house because she's not going to the birthday party. Stonsberry shows up at her house and brings these beautiful bouquet of flowers. And apparently, yeah, it's unfortunate though. But so apparently, Talene and Stansberry have been hanging out a lot. So we have some videos of them of Stansberry in the bushes, and then we had this scene where she got in the bed with damn, what is Talene's husband's name? Whatever. Talene's husband's in the bed and all laying up on his chest and stuff. And I looked at the TV and I was like, what the hell is going on here? The man was like, "Oh, I felt like Margot Robbie got in the bed with me," which they do look alike. They really do. Now that I had to Google who that was because I knew her name, but I couldn't quite place her. And when I Googled her, I was like, "Oh yeah, she's definitely a younger version of Stansberry, absolutely." But Stansberry, I'm gonna need you to not jump in that lady's bed like that. I don't care if she told you to do it or not. Please do not jump in that lady's bed no more and put your ear on her husband's chest anymore. Please don't do that again. Because I know that Talene was laughing about it and thought it was all jokes and stuff. But see, to me, I'm not gonna say it, y'all. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah, it was cringeworthy to look at that. I'm sorry, especially when you got you a husband as insecure as Sergio's ass. Yeah, that wasn't the thing to do, lady. That was not the thing to do. So moving on from there, we then get a scene. He will, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to the reunion. I can't because I know it better get addressed at the reunion. But we then go back to Brooks's son Adam's birthday party. Sarah shows up with her son. We had Lisa show up with her three boys, and they pretty much say that Ayan cannot make it because she has to go pick up her family from the airport. We know that Stansberry's not going to come because her sons are out of town, and we know Talene's not coming because Caroline didn't even extend a proper invitation. She made her personal assistant send that lady an invitation, which was fucked up. Brooks, you know you was messed up for that. Like that was terrible. Why you just didn't call that lady and say, "Hey, I would like the girls to come. We'll just put our differences aside for now and just come on and enjoy the party." And they began talking about what happened on Instagram and her hanging out with Stansberry. And Brooks is pressed. When I tell you Brooks is pressed, y'all remember Brooks is not a panini honey. Brooks is, you remember the old school, they had them irons that you press a shirt and all that steam just come. Baby, that was Brooks. Brooks was so pressed about that. And it was like, okay, well, you pushed them together. You see how you did that? You see how you did it? See, I didn't like that either because y'all known this lady as long as Talene has known her. And I just feel like one of y'all could have reached out to her and said, "Hey, what's going on? We are concerned because like we're hearing things. We love you. We embrace you. We got out here. What is going on?" But Brooks' spirit is off-putting. It is. I'm not saying I don't like Brooks. I don't like Brooks because something gives me shady. Something gives me like just, in my opinion, allegedly she gives me scam artist. She gives me that she saw an opportunity to get to Dubai and that's what she did because y'all know she's been in Dubai forever. So she just gives me just crook. I don't know why. She just does. She just gives me crook. And I'm saying allegedly to protect myself on my channel. But she does. She just gives me crook for some reason. I don't know why. But yes. But moving on from there, y'all. Brooks is not letting this situation go. So her and Sarah are taking a stroll on the beach. Oh, now see, Jim Bunny, I wasn't going to go there. I wasn't going to go there. I was not going to go here. I was trying to go here. So let me ask you a question, Jim Bunny. Do you think that Zoran was the sugar daddy that got her to Dubai, or do you think it was somebody else? Because I think it was somebody else. I don't really believe that she really fell for this man. He just damn stingy. I just don't believe that. For me, I don't believe that this was the man that got her to Dubai. I think this is the man she married in spite of the man who got her to Dubai. That's my opinion. Allegedly, I don't know this lady's story. I'm not trying to put something out there, but it gives me that there was somebody else before this man. And that's what, and it fucked up somehow. And she got with this man thinking it was going to be, you know, something else and ended up being the opposite. I don't, I don't, I see the chemistry, but if I'm picturing Brooks in her 20s when she got to Dubai, I'm not picturing that chemistry. This is old chemistry after you've been married to somebody for 20 years and they get on your nerves this way. This is what this gives me. She gives me the man, whoever got her to Dubai, she had more affection and a soft spot for him versus this man. That's what she gives me. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. But Brooks is pressed about this relationship with Caroline Stansberry and Talene, and I'm like, well, you did it. You pushed her, like Caroline Stansberry said in her confession. You pushed us right together by doing what you're doing. See, if you just sat back down there and just shut the hell up and just watched them just fall apart, then you wouldn't have to do that. See, you trying to play puppet master and do all these extracurricular activities to make sure this friendship just demolishes before it begins, end up backfiring on your ass. So now what you're trying to do is you're trying to wrangle with Lisa Milan and Sarah to make sure you have somebody in your corner. Brooks, we see you. This shit is so played out in housewife history. This is what they all do. And from somebody who I feel like is a crook and everything like this, I would have thought you had more game than this, Brooks. I am very disappointed in you, Brooks. I am. I'm very disappointed in you. But that was the episode, y'all. That was it. That was all that happened. Once again, Mrs. Best is on vacation, y'all, so she's not joining me today. But go ahead and subscribe to her channel anyway, because we'll be back on her channel on Saturday for Basketball Wives. We'll be back on my channel for Family Empire Houston on Saturday as well. So there we have it. This was Real Housewives of Dubai. And as we say, Brooks moving back where she is because she didn't put her foot in her own mouth and then put one leg in front of the other and tripped. It's just so sad. So sad. And I'm not rooting for Brooks, don't get me wrong, I'm not, but it is disappointing to see when a black woman go down like that. That's just ugh, terrible. But that was it, y'all. And also the things about Sarah's son, I want to make sure I'm not trying to talk about this little boy. I'm talking about Sarah and her parenting and her not having clear boundaries with her kid. That's all I'm saying. They wouldn't put it on TV. We wouldn't have it. Shame on that cameraman and shame on me at the editing room table for y'all exploiting this little boy like y'all did. That was terrible. That's it. That's all. Bravo in that call center. I expect better from y'all. But that's it. That's all. That's all I'm going to talk about today. Shout out to my girl Jim Bunny for being my co-host today. I appreciate you, my love. I will see you in the next video, of course. Thank you guys once again for joining me. I hope you had a great time. Replay game. Hey, how y'all doing? Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. And y'all have a good evening.